Google recently put out a new feature in Google Forms that allows you to make quizzes for your forms, and they do some self-grading for you. So I wanted to show you some tips about how to get started using forms as quizzes. So the first thing you need is a new Google form. I'm going to go ahead and create that. I'm going to give it a name, test quiz. Give it that same name. Now, when you are using quizzes for your forms, you do not have to start in quiz mode. You can add all of your questions and then change it to a quiz. To do that, you go up to Settings and Quizzes and click Make This a Quiz. So a few options that you have is you can release the grade to the person who took the quiz immediately after they submit or later after a manual review. Keep in mind that it sends it to email addresses, so if you are using it in a district that does not allow learners to have access to their Gmail accounts, they're actually not going to get the responses in their email. However, if you do immediately, they can access their response grades right from the confirmation page. So you also have some options for what the respondent can see when they look back over their quiz. You can have them see which questions they missed or not by just checking and unchecking. You can have them see the correct answers or not, again by checking or unchecking. You can also have them see the points values or not. So once you have everything selected that you want, you can go ahead and say Save. I usually take off correct answers because I provide feedback, which I will show you in just a second. But I do let them see which questions they missed and what point values they were. So I'm going to say Save, and now I can go in and I can start editing my questions. So I'm going to create a multiple choice question. When you are already in quiz mode, there's going to be something at the bottom that says answer key. This is the feature of the quizzes that you do not see when you're in a regular form. So when you click the answer key, it allows you to choose which option is the correct answer. So I'm going to say option 2 is correct. And you can make it as many points as you want. You can make it 1 point, 100 points. It does not matter. It's up to you. Now you can also add answer feedback. When you add feedback, you can enter specific feedback for both incorrect answers, and correct answers. Oops, I can't spell. One thing that's also really cool is that you'll notice that along with the feedback, keep in mind that was bad feedback. I have better feedback on my actual quizzes. You can also provide links to things. So let's say you have some incorrect answers and you want to provide a link to a video or a resource page that will help them understand what happened. You can copy and paste the URL in here. And you can also have it show a particular display text, like this is the resource page, or watch this video and then review. Then you can add that specific feedback. Oops. So then that adds that link there. So if someone gets an answer wrong, they see, sorry, this was wrong, along with the link to the URL that you want them to look at. Once you have your feedback done, you can say Save, and it will show you what you put for your feedback, so you can always edit that by clicking on the pencil. You can remove feedback as well by clicking on the trash can. If you want to continue editing your question, you just go down to the bottom and say Edit Question, and you're taken back to the regular question options. Now this was with a multiple choice question. Another type of question, I'm going to add a question here. Another type of question that you can do quizzes with, self-grading quizzes, are the checkboxes. That's where there's more than one answer. So I'm going to add a few options here, and then I'm going to go into my answer key. And let's say option 1 is correct, and so is option 4. Again, I'm going to make it worth some points. One thing that's important to keep in mind with this type is you either get it all right or you get it all wrong. It does not give partial credit. It's just a binary, right or wrong. Again, you can add feedback. The feedback looks exactly the same, incorrect answers versus correct answers, and you can also add in links. The third type of question that will be self-graded for you, I'm going to add one more question. That third type of question is a drop-down. So the drop-down is where the user sees a drop-down list. It's similar to multiple choice in how you have your selections, how you have the possible selections for your particular question. So I have my drop-down things. Again, you can change the answer key and have it worth 1 point. And in your drop-down, you just select which one is the correct answer, and you can add answer feedback. Again, not good feedback. If you are a teacher, probably want to be thinking about more specific feedback based on that particular question, which is kind of a nice feature. Again, you can add a link if you want to add a link and say save. Something to keep in mind is that these are the only 3 question types that you can have Google grade for you. It does not grade the other choices such as short answer or paragraph or any of the other grids. So if you are wanting to have short answer, you will have to manually go in and check that. If you want to check out the add-on Flubberoo, that allows you to do some more grading for different types of questions. However, it does require more back-end work on your part. So once you are ready for publishing your quiz, that's pretty much all you have to do. Since you've already gone into settings and made it a quiz, you can go from there. Now, you do have some other settings that you can do related to limited to 1 response and restrict it to your group or organization, as well as editing after they submit and seeing the responses. These are all things that I showed in another forms video that I posted previously on my blog. So I'm going to say cancel. I want to show you what responses to a quiz looks like and what you might see if you are a user taking that quiz. So I'm going to quickly take my quiz so you can see how that looks on my end. So let's say, okay, option 2, and option 4, and option 2. So I'm going to submit. So after you submit, you can have your custom confirmation page if you want. I didn't do that in this video. Now your user can view your score or submit another response if you have that option selected. When the person who took the quiz says view your score, it shows you the question, it shows you the feedback, and it shows you how many of the points you got. So here I got a 1 out of 3, not very good, because I only got 1 of the 3 questions correct. For question number 1, I think I had that hyperlink, so if I would have gotten that wrong, I would have also seen the link down there along with my feedback. So what does this mean for you? The user sees 1 out of 3. What do you see? So I'm going to go into my actual quiz and I'm going to look at my responses. Right now I'm just seeing the summary of responses in forms. When I use quizzes with my students, I usually like to look at it as a spreadsheet. So I'm going to create a spreadsheet and I'm just going to make a new one. And now I can see the responses in a spreadsheet. So when you look at this in a spreadsheet, you can see that it shows the score that I got and it shows the answers that I chose. If you had your form set up to collect usernames, then that would show up as well. And I also usually include a question that says, what is your name? So that helps me when I'm looking at the spreadsheet form. So that's how you use quizzes in Google Forms, a new feature that's pretty handy for when you're doing some quick formative assessments. Again, there are several other form features that you might want to combine with this, and those show up in some of my other forms videos. So check out the videos and posts that are tagged in forms so you can get some of those tips as well.